Hello everyone, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Monster Hunter Wilds literally just came out, but I'm playing this game, which should come as a surprise to precisely no one, but I'm mentioning it regardless. I've been away for about 2 weeks, I was in Japan, and then when I came back from Japan I came down with a mild sickness, but I am feeling a little bit better. You may be able to hear it in my voice, or rather the remnants of said sickness in my voice, but indeed I'm feeling perfectly fit to do a recording, so here I am. We're doing Hellblade G5, not really my first choice. I really should have shot Demon on these guys before we went out. I am going to use slicing here. This is the monster that we really want to be dealing the most amount of damage to in a short space of time when it comes to all of the monsters in this lineup, because of course, the sooner we kill this Glavenus, the sooner, or rather the lower the chance, of us having to fight this Hellblade and a standard Glavenus at the same time. So the monster lineup is Hellblade, then standard Glavenus, then another Hellblade. So the timed aspect of this hunt is going to be with this monster and the one that comes after it. Let's kill this one as quickly as possible is my current modus operandus. Come on. Oh, there you go. There you go. Trying to remember if I got the singular of modus operandi correct. I really need to work on my Latin. I'm a bit rusty on that. Oh. I think the singular form of modus operandi is modus operandus, isn't it? I believe so. Hope I got that right. Some people don't realise that, of course, operandi is plural. It's not always necessary to do that. To use the phrase in that way. Oh my god, that was close. So yeah, obviously right now I'm just trying to get slicing on the face for as much damage as I can deal. It turns out I'm the only one gunning. I, for some reason, thought Midnight was gunning as well. Basically, we've got 2 Hunter Rank 999s. I'm one of those 2. And then we've got Kuro JHK, who is only Hunter Rank 120 or so he really is of a low level in Generations Ultimate terms. Doesn't mean that he is inexperienced with Monster Hunter, necessarily. But, I don't know. Perhaps I could have looked at his loadout to see, oh, okay, dropping smoke bombs. Happy with that. Does seem a little early, but it's good to be cautious as well. That's obviously to prevent us from being seen by the next monster spawning. My accuracy is not really up to standard. I should have just stayed on the ground, shouldn't I? That's really bad. I can't blame the game, really. Obviously, it's unfortunate when you've got gunner defense to be the target of the follow-up attack to the one that hit you. But I just have to accept it. And do better, I guess. Just to be really brutal to myself. And to make no excuses. Alright, cool drink. Back into the fray. Yeah, it really was quite premature of us to start dropping smoke bombs when we did, but an abundance of caution probably is well measured. And in order. Oh. Incredible range with those fire throw attacks with the tail. It has forward range, like frontal, And also has some width to it. Not good to be on the receiving end. Bit of a knockdown there. So I do have True Shot up, so critical distance is not quite as... Is it True Shot? Sorry? No, True Shot is increasing the damage. Okay. So I do not have... And I've already forgotten the name of it again. For some reason, the skill that increases the damage of your shots over critical distance, or rather, widens the window of effectiveness of your pierce shots, for example. The name of that skill eludes me. For some reason. Anyway. I don't have that particular skill here. What I did have was True Shot up, which increased the damage of my slicing. It increases internal ammunition damage. Not exclusively, but in my case that is what it was doing for my build. Come on, kill him. We must be close. He's dead. And in the end, we didn't really need the smoke bomb, because I think he just spawned just then. Unless I'm crazy. It just looked like he was doing some kind of animation. Like he had just come out of the ground. What I'll do is I will shoot Pierce level 1. This should last me for the entirety of this confrontation, that's what I'm hoping. I have brought combination materials for Pierce level 3, so I'm hoping to be able to get the rest of my Pierce level 3 out, the combinations of those, and Pierce level 2 for the third confrontation. One would hope that that's possible. Could have done a back hop there, actually. Would have served me much better. Good break. I feel like I've done so many hunts in this location. I'm really sick of it. They need more lava locations, don't they? More lava arenas. The Ingle Isle is not that great. They should have just brought back the Sacred Ground, I believe it's called, for Elatrion. Because at least then you could fight Elatrion and then the location would feel special. Because this Ingle Isle is so overused. You've got Crimson Fatalis, you've got a Cantor, Raging Brachydios, and then all of these different Deviant fights. Hellblade Clavernus. I think even Rust Razor appears in here, doesn't he? You've also got Crystal Beard. What else is there? Bloodbath fucking appears here. It's just an overused location, in my opinion. As an arena location, it's overused. They could have had some more arena locations, I think. But maybe I'd feel a little better about it if it weren't for the fact that fucking Elatrion must be fought here as well. On top of all of that, I feel like Elatrion deserves better. Because by the time you get to the Elatrion fight, you've been here so many times already. Maybe it's not a fair criticism. It might be a symptom of how much I've played this game that bothers me. Oop. Down to 24 pierce shots. I thought I was in range to be affected by that roar, but evidently not. Very good. I'm very happy with my ammo at the moment. I will save my Pierce level 1 for the final sort of cache of ammunition to fall back on. So yeah, now we can just sit back, relax, and wait for the real Hellblade Glavenus to appear. Now this one is going to be, presumably, the proper, well not presumably, certainly, the G5 fully, the fully G5 level Hellblade Glavenus. And the reason why I take the time to mention that is because I'm quite sure the very first Hellblade that we fought was not of G5 level. He's part of the G5 quest, but this is the actual target of the hunt. The G5 Glavenus that we want to be fighting. Oh, he appears here. I'd like to see where he came from. He looked as if he had just fucking instant transmissioned into that position, but I can't say for sure. I wasn't looking at him. By the way, I did not actually decide to use the bowgun for this quest. It was my roulette. For those of you who have seen my more recent live streams of this game, I have taken to using a roulette to decide the weapon that I'm going to use. And it chose light bowgun. So that ended up being very fortunate. I would have made do with other weapons for this quest, but this is definitely the closest to what I would naturally pick without the roulette making the decision for me. Light Pierce is probably the best balance between high damage and then keeping yourself alive during a quest. So, survivability coupled with damage output. Because look at that DPS, I don't have to close the distance. To an extent I have to close the distance because I have to get within critical distance. But it's not the same as actually standing in front of the monster. He's not very different to regular Glavenus, is he? Very, very similar. Of the deviants, Hellblade may be the least changed of the deviant subspecies. The least, what's the word I'm looking for? As a variety, he is not very different. As a deviation, he does not deviate greatly from the original monster. He's more blast-oriented, I think, and then has a few upgraded attacks, but aside from that, he really feels the same. It's particularly noticeable after having fought the regular Glavenus just before. This one just feels slightly more dangerous, but I would guess that even Dread King Rathalos felt a little bit more different compared with the original, but not by much, admittedly. Oh, I did a Bullet Geyser as an evasive maneuver there. Whether it was necessary or not, I couldn't say, but it was the right thing to do. And also remembering that because I'm using light bowgun, I don't have to necessarily roll through things, I can sheath and dive. The speed with which you can sheath your light bowgun factors very much into its mobility. It's not just mobility, it's your ability to evade. which is increased by the lightness and the quickness of your light bowgun. And I do forget that sometimes. You know, when I have periods of time where I'm using the heavy bowgun quite a lot. What do you mean Pierce level 2? Fine. I thought it was Pierce level 3 that I'd brought combinations for, but that's alright. I guess that's still pin tuner. But yeah, if I become a little bit too used to heavy bowgun, I will sometimes use a light bowgun like a heavy bowgun in that I almost never sheath it while in combat, which is not, in my opinion, the way it should be used. Like here, for example. I can quickly sheath it and then just dive. That's the best way to evade attacks, is just to completely give yourself immunity for several seconds. So yeah, these quests tend to go on for a long time because the third monster is a full health monster. I.e. this Hellblade. Oh, very good. Very good. So yeah, this Hellblade will be taking a kicking. Which is to say, you know, big damage sponge. He'll take a lot of hits before he goes down. But I'm very happy with this team. They've absolutely pulled through. I mean, my stupid death was really the only hiccup. Oh. Maybe not a great decision. Potentially rolling into an attack also is not recommended. He makes a silly noise when he's on the ground. I don't know what it reminds me of. Something from Zelda. Oh, there you go. Definitely didn't need this much ammunition, but if it were necessary, it was there. Very nicely done for a group of 3. Kuro JHK definitely pulled his weight. Kept on the monsters the whole time. Didn't die. So, I can say that much without having checked his loadout. Very good. Excellently done. Just wish it wasn't in the fucking Ingle Isle. I'm sick of this location. Which is a shame. I like the Ingle Isle. It was a refreshing change from the Sacred Ground. But obviously that sheen of novelty has worn off now. I've had it with the Ingle Isle. We're through. Very generous rewards there. Slightly bit my tongue while saying it. Very generous rewards. To repeat it without the tongue biting effect. Bite tongue, yeah. Honestly, could have just used an item set to get my combo books. I basically eviscerated my inventory in order to get those combo books in there. Yep, that's an alright loadout, I think. Although, wow, 275 for 55 blast. I don't think that's I understand why on paper that looks good, but Blast is not that effective. It's okay, but it's... I don't know. Maybe it makes up for it. Yes, Hellblade EX. No thank you, sir. I've done enough Hellblade. I understand why you would want to do it with this team. But I'm not doing repeated hunts today. Fabian and Fabricio. Or Fabricio, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Do I look Italian? I think that's Italian. Could also be Greek, maybe? Anyway. So, that's right, roulette. Silly me. Lance, okay. And what was on the board again? Again, the classic. Completely forgetting what's on the board. It is something wicked. Okay. Do I have any strange lances that might be fun to use? Like a status lance, come on. Yeah, Basalt Venom. Maybe? No, I think I use that as a blunt lance. No, I mustn't use it as a blunt lance. No, I do. I think I do use it as such. Alright, let's use it as a blunt lance then. It's a weird one, in the sense that initially it will not be appropriate as a blunt lance, because it starts with blue sharpness. But as time goes on, it will drop down to green. So it's actually more appropriate for a bludgeoner loadout than a standard loadout. Or at least my standard loadout, because I don't have sharpness +1. Go all in on attack. Get these fucking combo books out of here. Where are my item sets, damn it? Blade Master. Yeah, that's fine. When you register an item set, it's generally ideal not to have cool drinks at 2. But I've never changed that. There's a strategic reason behind having only 2 cool drinks. Alright. I'll head this way, I suppose. So yeah, as I say, starting with blue sharpness, despite it being a bludgeoner loadout. But it won't take long for us to get into bludgeoner damage. We're already at 362, which is okay. With blue sharpness, just on its own. But we will go further. We will go beyond. Bit out of range though. This is a very large Gore Magala. This is just without contest the largest Gore Magala I think I've ever fought. This is huge. They get pretty small. This one is just colossal in size. Bigger than most Shaguru that I find. Assuming that they also have a varying size. Not sure how effective poison even is against this monster. It does clash with the colour scheme, doesn't it? Well, when I say clash with it, it doesn't look like... it's a little bit too close to his colour scheme, I suppose is what I mean. makes you think that he might be resistant to poison. It would be a silly reason for him to be resistant, but anyway. Alright, he is poisoned now. We've got a trap on the ground. I thought I had heard that. I'll set a good example and actually go and try to use it. Although I think even the person who set the trap has given up on actually using it. Well, that guy's dead, so him not standing behind a trap didn't exactly work out for him, did it? Maybe he could have not died and then given us an opportunity to hit the monster lots of times. But instead, he just died. This is not working, is it? I feel like I can't even aim for a head that is that big. Which sounds counterintuitive, but because he's so raised from the ground. And also, the bigger something is, the more it will move, even with relatively small movements of the monster. So yeah, it's not as easy to target. Oh my god. Congas just need to get with the program. Like, you are not the star of the show, you pink piece of shit. Just go away. You would think that small monsters would be intimidated into standing back, but no. They are not. I'm actually quite surprised that I haven't yet reached green sharpness. It would have been great if I was actually intending to rely on the blue sharpness, but I'm really not. There we go. Now we've got our bludgeoner damage, which sits at... It was 398, I think. Now it is... No, it was 300 and something. Anyway. It was 383, maybe. I saw it so briefly I couldn't say for certain. That was good. And he's left. Very well. We do have Enraged Guard, so I'm going to try and charge that up before using Corkscrew Jab. I have it on good authority. The authority being me. Myself. That these two things do stack. Come on. Thank you. I was a bit worried there. I don't even think that was half of the damage there. God, what am I being affected by? Is this fucking virus? I haven't actually seen it dig into my health like that before. That was bad. Oh my god. Come on. We've got him out. Looks very dark, doesn't it? In this particular area with the Gormagala effect. Oh god. Of course, we all position ourselves around the head, which is fine for others, but for me, I can't really get much done. Okay. Managed to launch a whole... Well, two of us. Managed to launch two of us. I was going to say a whole bunch of us and then realised, well... I don't know if, strictly speaking, two people is a bunch, but it's probably not necessary. It's probably a bit of an embellishment. Let's just say 2 of us. And Fabricio has now died twice. Take care, Fabricio. Ow. Actually, didn't really feel that because I immediately got life powdered. We'll try to find the right time to use corkscrew jab. Hopefully I can get it out before Enraged Guard ceases to be in effect. I think we can manage that. Come on. Bit dangerous. Yeah. That was a bit pathetic, actually. It would have been better just to forego the Enraged Guard damage and get a fucking corkscrew jab on target. Now I've ended up on squandering both, which is great. We are in a position where we may fail this quest. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but yeah. Gormagala, everyone. We might fail this Gormagala quest. It is hyper, but come on. Unless maybe I'm underestimating the team, or overestimating the team. When excuse my nose, still getting over my sickness. I guess what I meant was underestimating their uselessness, which is confusing, and I should try to be a little better with my use of language. Enraged Guard returns. No, that was a stupid time to use it, wasn't it? Very good. Well, because he got flinched there, I wasn't able to actually get Shield Assault on target. Which is ridiculous. Failed both of my Hunter routes, though. Oh my god. I would have much preferred to kill him there, but fine. Guess we're going the wrong ass way. Quite rightly, they're following me because I'm the one who should know where I'm going. Turns out I don't. Turns out I don't. Oh, there we go. Did I cut that tail? It didn't look like it, but it simultaneously looked like I did and didn't look like I did. Why are you limping? Well, I know why you're limping, but why already? And why into a wall? I can see you're trying to capture it, but looks like the team's not very interested. In fact, the person who was trying to capture gave up almost immediately. It's so interesting to see these people place traps and then just not commit to them at all. It's because everyone else tends to ignore them. So it creates a cycle of traps being placed and then, oh, well, fuck it. Never mind. I'm glad we succeeded. I'm glad that was not failure. Ugh. I might go and blow my nose. I'll be back in a moment. That's a very cool final screen. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know if it's really... No, it must be audible that my voice is not at 100% at the moment. But again, as I say, I feel largely fine. It's just the lingering effects of getting over a sickness. Okay. Well, yeah, hyper monsters can be dangerous, but that's why you just be more careful. It really is as simple as that. You're not as gung-ho, or shouldn't be as gung-ho when fighting a hyper monster as compared to a normal monster, because there is less margin for error. But maybe the guy just had some unfortunate deaths. I don't know. I didn't really see them. He has a lot of defense. He doesn't have much of an excuse for dying with 879 defense, but anyway. Especially if he was playing for defense up. I didn't really see. I don't think he was. I think it was mostly attack and other things. Let's see what's on the board. Price freeze. This one is just a standard monster. Standard Tigrex. Sword and shield. Interesting. Either an ice sword and shield or something perhaps even more interesting than that. What about a blast sword and shield? Do I have one of those? I must. You'd think I would. Garland safe? Okay. So that's blunt sword and shield then. So blunt dual blades, I think that's the set that I use for blunt sword and shield, and then we use the Garland safe. Or safe, I don't really know how to pronounce that. Oh, that's right, it's the one that looks like a vagina. I forgot about that. Alright, so... Chaos Oil, I usually put Sword Dance 3 there and then Chaos Oil 3 beneath it. Yep. Very good. And as I recall, it's not actually that good of a sword and shield even with the Bludgeoner boost. The Bludgeoner boost actually just makes it less shit. That's the best way for me to describe it. It remains a pretty bad weapon, even with the Bludgeoner boost. Because you can see, it's only 24 elemental attack. So... Well, excuse me, 24 blast. Don't want to say elemental attack. That's a little confusing. Probably should have eaten for attack up after having just trashed the effectiveness of my own weapon verbally. Oh well. I really need to get a blast sword and shield, don't I? I'm sure I can ameliorate that. When we return from this quest, I will have a look and see what I can make. Should I use Kiraniko? Because again, I don't have the dex. Yeah, let's do that. I'll very briefly look at what my... Oh, for goodness sake. Go away, will you? In fact, I'll kill you. You come close to me, I'll kill you. I have absolutely no qualms about doing that. Kiraniko... But yeah, I don't have my deck set up on this laptop, so I'm having to use this. Weapon list, sword and shield. Well, what? How do they say blast? I'm trying to use Control F for this. What's blast? BLA. which sucks because incidentally, lots of other things use the letters BLA in them. So it's like a pink color. Blast. This sucks, I'm sorry. I can't use this weapon list after using Ping's decks. I feel like a spoiled brat after having Ping's decks. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll just compare Light Break to Standard Brachydios and just make a decision there, because that usually is, you know, something Brachydios related will usually be the best choice for Standard Blast. When I say Standard Blast, I mean, you know, not considering Bludgeoner. And I apparently already have my Bludgeoner Sword and Shield for Blast, so I needn't be concerned. This guy needs to get his act together. I'm not sure what's going on. He is using a hunting horn, which is basically a stand back and play your music kind of thing. I don't think he's healing. There's no other explanation, because this is not a hyper monster that we're fighting right now. I just want to make that clear. This guy died twice in the previous hunt, which I'm willing to, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt on. Perhaps he had some unfortunate deaths, but he has already died to a non-hyper Tigrax. The quest has only just begun, so, and he has 879 defense, and he's using a fairly non-aggressive weapon type compared to the other Blade Master weapons, so I really don't know what he's playing at. I mean, you can call it a lack of skill. I would say he's just being a bit lazy. He's just not healing himself, presumably. I'm sorry, those two strategies do not go hand in hand. Placing the trap and then throwing a flash bomb is a little bit like saying, hey, I've just placed this trap, but I don't really want to use it. Anyway. Maybe it was a different person who threw the flash bomb to who threw the trap. Or rather, dropped the trap, but it looked like the same person. It was a great way of ensuring that we don't use the trap, because these guys are not going to want to take themselves over to that trap to use it. Oh, I stand corrected on. Fabian is now dead. You guys need to get a grip or something. It's not a hyper monster. Just watch your health. In fact, I will top up my health now. How have we already failed? I'm sorry, guys. This is not acceptable. I didn't actually see who died there. But how is that possible? This is not a hyper monster, right? Are they being complacent? Are they playing like shit because they think they're safe? I'm a little bit confused. Apparently Crimson Fatalis is a blast weapon in this game. I'll have a look. I think my loadout has sharpness +2. I'm quite sure that it does. I'm not playing with you guys. You guys are... Ugh. I'm going to go into a solo room just so that I can make a blast sword and shield. And I'll use it on the next hunt that I do. So, Teostra is also an option. So 290 raw, 45 blast. Sharpness +2 looks quite good for that. I find it really strange that I don't actually have a blast sword and shield, aside from my bludgeoner one. I wonder why. I guess it just never occurs to me that I might want to use one. Alright, so Teostra Spada. What's the crimson one? Absolute Ruiner Sword. That does look good with... Yeah, do you know what? That might be the one. It's got a good chunk of purple with sharpness +2. 330 raw, 34 blast. That's looking good. So, let me confirm. Yep, sharpness +2. Ah. But I've gone all in with element attack with my sword and shield set. Interesting. The reason why this is awkward is because even if I were to use my status set here, that's not going to boost blast. Blast and slime are both exempt from status boost, so... I suppose I have my answer now, don't I? Why did I not actually make a blast sword and shield for general use? It's because I don't... I've actually shut it out completely from my loadouts. Wow. Okay, maybe I won't make one then. Because just to demonstrate... Where is it? I mean, unless it has increased it. Hold on, 24? Versus what? I just saw that it was highlighted in blue there, so... Hello? Yeah, 24. I just saw that it was highlighted in blue, but I think it's green when it's superior, is that right? Anyway, used to be blue, now it's green. To indicate that it's better than what you're comparing it with. Okay. I will not make a blast sword and shield after all. I like my sword and shield loadout here, so... And yeah, I don't really have the space to make other loadouts, so that's alright. How you Zao? Turn no EX. Okay. I can get on board with that. Hello, Yells. But yeah, that last group was just... not good. In 5 minutes of fighting a Tigrex, I should have actually checked their hunter ranks, but I'm sure that we were all well above the level where we should be dying within 5 minutes of fighting a standard Tigrex. That's crazy. Alright. The reason why I immediately left that room is not because it was a Kirin, it's because it was a high-rank Kirin. For the avoidance of doubt. There we go. HR13 quest, that's what I'm wanting. And let us spin the roulette. Charge Blade. Okay. I'll bring a Dragon Charge Blade, which will be Lao Shanlong. Someone sent me a guild card. Have I eaten? No. But I will join up on the quest just to make it clear that I am participating. This person is quite upset that it's taking so long. I can see the hunting horn user is full. What is that monster called again? Najarala. Full Najarala. Look at that. They've actually done it for fashion. I have to admit, I don't think I've ever seen the full Najarala armor set used in G-Rank. I may have seen it in 4 Ultimate or perhaps in Generations, but not in this game. And indeed, it wouldn't have been the G-Rank set in Generations, just those big back wings. It looks pretty cool, actually. I really like the look of that armor set. I understand why it was being used for fashion. Yeah, Lao Shanlong's Charge Blade is pretty good. I'm sure there would be other options for Dragon, but I decided that this was pretty balanced. You know, you're still hitting 300. If it were below 300, I probably wouldn't have done it, but 300 true raw with 50 element, and a decent chunk of sharpness with sharpness plus 2. I mean, really, that's good enough for me. That's really good, actually. Typically, Lao Shanlong would be featuring less, or providing less raw damage for that amount of element. Just managed to get out of the range of that. I'll shield this. Try to get this on the face. Oh, bit off target. Yeah, I suppose a chaotic weapon would be good on Shargot and Magala. That's a good call. I haven't made any chaotic weapons in this particular game. I experimented with them in 4 Ultimate and then decided that I didn't like them. So, didn't make any in this game. The weapon designs are very cool though. Tsubaki is having issues. Everyone's having issues. I will assist. I'm so used to just using Dust of Life that when I use a life powder I just feel like that's barely helping. Oh. Get out of the way of that shit. Let's get Ripper Shield on the go. Just seeing what you're doing. I won't use Energy Blade yet. Oh, maybe I will. Let's get an Energy Blade on the face. Given that we've got a knockdown here. Oh, come on. Instead of getting the face, I got the chest or something, because that fucking tail cut. I'm sorry, I have a real pet peeve for aiming for tails that have almost been cut during KOs and knockdowns, and mounts. Knockdowns maybe, but fucking mounts? Because what you're doing is you're reducing the... I mean, if it's a monster where the tail is difficult to aim for, okay. This is not a monster whose tail is difficult to aim for. It fucking trails behind the monster. And the monster stays still all the time. Well, not still, but plenty of opportunities to hit that tail. It's on the ground. And you're going to aim for the damn thing during a mount? Or after a mount knockdown? Ridiculous. It just curtails the opportunity for the team needlessly. I'm all for aiming for tails that are difficult to aim for when the opportunity presents itself, but come on. Oh, thank you for that. That was extremely nice of you to do. Looks like this HR999 is using aerial hunting horn. Probably looking for new and unusual ways to play the game to keep himself entertained. Oh my god, that was really bad. So, what happened there is that I managed to shield the actual attack, was then affected by tremor, which then positioned me perfectly to then get hit by one of those exploding attacks. Really quite nasty. Yeah, I didn't think I had the ability to resist roars. Just making sure that I'm not needlessly diving roars. Oh. Interesting timing for a knockdown. Gives me an opportunity to get back and heal. This quest's a terrible light. I think this might actually be the event, based on the amount of damage that I'm taking. Oh. Having to evade these. I need a good term for these. Anyway, I'll think of something. Not. I'll never fucking think of something because I'm going to completely forget about it. I'm just going to move on with the fight now. We'll just call them explosions. That's a good enough word for me. Thank you. Can't believe that that second explosion didn't reach me. I was expecting that to get me. It's got a bit of a flavour of Crimson Fatalis, doesn't it, when you're having to avoid these fucking falling objects. It's not actually a falling object, but it functions in a similar way. And then you get pushed into them randomly as well. It's terrible. I understand it. I just don't like it. I don't think it's a bad game design. Yeah, I don't really like the word geyser because it's not actually coming... It's not a subterranean explosion. It's existing entirely on the surface. So I wouldn't use the word geyser. Oh. It might look like it's coming out of the ground because it's got that rising effect. But I think it's... maybe I'm just looking at it too geologically. Maybe you can use the word geyser just as an illustrative description of the magic in question. You think I can energy blade his face? Think I can do it? No, let's not do it. Well, I will find an opportunity to do it. I will find an opportunity. Nope. That looked like a rage quit at the final hour. Did you see that? So the HR999 guy got killed and had such an acute moment of nerd rage that even though this monster is almost dead... Oh, well. That was helpful. That was great. Maybe the monster wasn't almost dead. It is a event quest, but... Yeah, we had some Chinese nerd rage, and then we failed the quest. Maybe that other guy was so distracted by that unedifying demonstration of nerd rage that he himself just died. He threw the fucking game after that. Well, we really didn't need to do the event quest, but I'm glad we tried. Sorry. That was a hollow statement, which is not true. I'm not glad we tried. I'm not glad we failed. And, yeah, I considered that to be largely a waste of time. Candor is valuable. Alright. Another event quest. Let's do it. And they've decided to do it with 3 people. Very well. Drama Bomb. That's a good name. These guys have pretty cool names. I mean, I don't think 1080p audio is a very funny name, but it's unusual. Drama Bomb, however. Guys, alright, he's now returned from a quest. What's going on? They're doing something. Oh, and now Drama Bomb is gone. I've suddenly found it very difficult to get into a room with people who are actually playing the game. Or at least able to play with me. Nightcloak, here we go. Oh, never mind. Far be it from me to want to join a room that's fun and exciting. Nightcloak I find to be a very fun deviant, but I have been obviously forced to look for a different room. It is never a good sign when it takes that long to transmit data. Taiyo. I think that means sunlight, doesn't it? Because I was about to say, isn't that like another word for light? Because you've got hikari. But taiyo, yeah, that's sunlight, I believe. So I've got sunlight, Carlos EDU. Or maybe it's short for education, I don't know. We will see what they're actually doing soon, hopefully. But yeah, it's been a little bit unfortunate for the last few hunts. We had a failed standard Tigrex hunt, followed by a failed event Shagaru Magala. I think those were sequential, one after the other. Oh wow. Derek is not having written conversations with people. He is not going to be typing to anyone. I haven't seen anyone use that status before, but he feels the need to. Hello, Derek. How you going, man? So Carlos needs to actually stop being AFK pretty shortly, because, you know, I've said this before and I'll say it again, 12 months ago this would not have actually worked. So as soon as people got so much as a whiff of there being an AFK host, the room would clear out. Like, you would have an empty room. This guy's looking pretty AFK to me. I will say his name with a question mark. That is universal. You do not require any knowledge of the English language in order to understand what that means. The inference is clear, and my request is also fairly clear, flowing from that. It is for you to maybe get out here and post something. Explosion marks the spot. I'm happy to do it, it's just that... Oh. What's happened? Connection lost. Lovely. What the fuck? That room was... Ooh. Did he kick me from the room? For saying his name with a question mark? After he had been AFK for 3 minutes? Or perhaps not even AFK, at the very least sitting there as the room host being unresponsive with a full room for 3 minutes. I just want to see if that's what's happened. Maybe it was, oh no, he did kick me. He actually kicked me from that room for asking if he was there, effectively. I'm pretty sure that is the only circumstance in which I would lose connection in that way. I know what being kicked looks like. And that would be pretty funny if he kicked me for that reason. He would have been eaten for fucking breakfast in this community 12 months ago. And I keep saying 12 months ago, it feels like it's been that recent. It might have been 2 years ago, but... a year and a half to 12 months ago, this is not what the community was like. Where you just make a room and then be totally unresponsive. People would move on immediately. People didn't have time for that shit. And to be honest, I didn't like it when it was that way. But, you know, so I have the patience to wait, but being kicked for saying his name with a question mark? That's going a bit far. But who knows, maybe he didn't kick me, maybe I actually just lost connection to him for some reason. I will wait for like... Actually, I'm not even going to wait. I will look for greener pastures. This is a pretty pathetic option. Anything would be better than that room at this stage. Again, fairly slow data transmission. Generally not a good indication. Alice is doing a mini marathon. Sorry, marathon. That was very American. Marathon. Alice is doing a marathon in... Well, what do they call it? It's like a half marathon, that's right. Can't remember how many Ks that is, but anyway. We've got the tried and true Kirin armor set. Transmog. With the Barioth helm. And yeah, that does work. Except for the ears. You've got the sort of tusks, I guess, for ears. What? Tusks for ears? Because that's not sand Barioth, that's standard Barioth, so that must be the tusks if they're amber colour. It's a bit unusual. Tusks for ears. I suppose you could say that they're ear guards? Ear guards. Yeah. Well, who's posting? Cercress is looking like a full-on anime girl. And, this person looks like a, well, I'm not even going to say it. I don't know, it's just conversation. I'm starting to go slightly insane. I've never seen this before. I mean, you would not, 12 months ago, be joining multiple rooms where people are just standing around doing nothing. This is like 3 Ultimate. Seriously, it's like 3 Ultimate, where no one is in a rush to do anything. And I can't quite believe it. I didn't think that it was possible for this community, at this point in history, to become this way. But it has. And, that's... I don't know whether to celebrate it or to be perturbed by it. But it's weird. It's really weird. I have many, many hours of evidence of it not being this way on the previous Doomlink channel, and this is kind of putting me off. So, I'm sorry, Alice, you were running around, but they're clearly not putting anything on the board either, right? They're standing there expecting you to post something. You've made it clear that you are here and participating, but you're also not willing to post anything, but you're also not saying anything, so what's going on? Wonderlord says, I would leave that. I appreciate what you're trying to say, but I've joined a lot of rooms by now, and they're all like this, and I don't know why. I'm not sure what has happened in this community. It has swung to the other extreme. It's gone from, let's go, we're in a room now, are you ready? Why aren't you ready right now? Let's go, come on, you're not ready? You're left behind, we're going now. It's gone from that to what you just saw, and I don't know how this has happened. It's happened very suddenly, and I don't understand it. But anyway. Dio wants to do White Fatalis. I don't care. I don't want to do Fatalis, but... Manuel says, turns top to bottom. Does that mean you're first, or does that mean... Oh, yep, does mean you're first. Garuga's comeuppance. Okay. Did I have a weapon selected for me? I don't even know. Apparently not. Bow. Okay. So, fun fact about Garuga. Terrible shot zones. Terrible. Really bad. But that's alright. I guess the golden rule is just aim for the face. I will do... Let's do rapid for a change. I know that it's weak. I get that. But... I don't feel like doing heavy right now. Looking for a water bow? Not that one. Okay. So, non-load up. Rapid. Stop that. Absolute deviance. When I read the phrase absolute deviance, I think of like a pedophile or something. Like it's a... The phrase absolute deviance is like really quite extreme. Like, absolute deviance. Just like... completely unhinged fucking despicable behavior is what I read there, but anyway. Absolute deviance. Alright, let's fight Garuga. Oh yeah, I didn't bring any coatings. I'm sure no one is surprised by that realization. Okay. Young Garuga! Does this guy have a shout of every single monster in his repertoire, so that he can send it with an exclamation mark at the beginning of a hunt that relates to the monster in question? That's kind of... that's kind of, interesting. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just eccentric. And mildly entertaining. Just checking things. I'm surprised that there are so many of you who are willing to watch this game with Wilds having just come out. I'm very thankful for that, to be honest with you. I did not have high hopes. What are the coatings that I can use with this bow? Element level 2, power level 1. Well, that would have got me through this hunt very easily. But of course, I have been negligent. Oh my god. This is quite a large Garuga. It looks like he's got a big head. Yeah, I don't use Rapid very much. For obvious reasons, it's not... I was wondering if Heavy were just relatively much better, but no, I think Rapid is glitched out or heavily nerfed for some reason. Heavy's still very good. It does the damage you would expect Rapid to do, but maybe they thought Rapid was too easy. Maybe the damage came without enough barrier placed between the hunter and the damage. By way of technique, by way of positioning, by way of... who knows. But obviously Heavy requires that very specific arc to be drawn. I think it's bugged in multiplayer, so it is a bug, it's not a feature. Okay. I don't really know how it works. It's a bad bug, though. Like, for instance, am I to say, for example, that the super amped elemental discharge of the charge blade is a bug and not a feature? I really don't know. I think it's hard to actually know for certain until... unless, of course, Capcom have actually owned up to it and have said, hey, this is a bug, not a feature, then it's hard to really say for sure. This is why it can really help to be a Japanese Monster Hunter player, because at least Capcom are a little bit more communicative when it comes to the Japanese audience. They probably would actually tell the Japanese audience, hey, we fucked up. Whereas the Westerners, no, forget them. We'll just ask them what their favourite monster is or something, that'll keep them happy. That's our community engagement. And I say that because if you look at the first 4 generations of Monster Hunter, all of the information about how to play the game was released in guidebooks and art books, etc., which were never released outside of Japan, so they obviously don't give much of a fuck about us. That's alright. Happy to be treated like trash, Capcom. I happen to really like the Monster Hunter series, so... what I'll do is I'll enjoy your game and then regard you as trash. given your treatment of us. That works just fine for me. And he's leaving. I did not intend to do triple volley, just to be clear. What I actually wanted to do was, I had actually pressed X to hop backwards to cancel my bow charge, but I instead performed triple volley. That's alright. Oh, I missed the tail carve, but that's inevitable. That seems to be how I play Monster. I forget to carve tails when they get cut. It's my specialty. Oh. For a Hyper Garuga, we really did beat down on him, didn't we? I don't know if that makes for a positive case for my rapid shooting, but we've got a Hyper Garuga limping in well under 10 minutes, and I'm contributing some form of damage here, so it can't be completely useless. And this is without coding. Maybe I really should just keep quiet. I'm probably doing fuck all. Oh. There you go, goodbye. That felt like a quick scope or something. Nope, we're the only two people carving. Doesn't it make you feel like a scrub? Standing here carving while these other two people just watch? Oh, how cute. Look at them carving the monster. Well, I'll have you know that when you're in the endgame, Mr. Manual, Star, you couldn't possibly predict what you may need when forging whatever the hell you want. Because that's the thing. You can never truly predict that. The smartest thing to do, even if you're not like me and you love to just collect all of the materials you can, carve when you're hunting the thing, because you never know, you might actually decide randomly, oh, I want to forge this weapon, and then it might actually require Garuga materials. Maybe it's an event weapon or something like that. Just carve everything. Then you will never be in a position where you go, oh shit, well, I fought so many of those things, but I never carved it, and now, all of a sudden, I need this for a decoration, or I need this for a random event weapon. Just that laziness. And I think it is initially laziness. It's not. I was sort of suggesting that it's, almost like, is it high-minded? Like a sort of high-minded, self-aggrandizing decision to not carve because you don't need it. It's not that. It's, I think initially it's laziness. It's like, oh, I don't need it, so I won't carve it. But you may need it at some point in the future. You just don't know yet. Although Manual is Hunter Rank 999, so maybe I will exempt him from that categorization. Oh, wow. Bloodbath. Has he always had grey horns like that? I thought he had red horns. Am I going crazy? Misremembering it, obviously. Spin the roulette. Oh. That's alright. Fucking hell. What I love is that Switch Axe and Gun Lance are right next to each other on this roulette, and the thing is that I hate both of them, so if I'm just on the line, just on the edge of one being chosen over another, I'm going to hate the result no matter what. So, not great. Bloodbath Diablos, what's he weakest to? Still ice? Perhaps. No water. Water is his primary weakness. So, water switch axe. I'll use my longsword loadout, well, let's change the weapon first. And then change the arts to suit it. Water switch axe, what is that? It's not Jen, obviously, and I don't think it's Darren, so what would it be? You're shitting me. See Deus. Okay. Here I am saying, oh, it's not Jen, obviously, and then turns out it's fucking C Deus. Talk about a surprise. I'm sort of sitting here in shock. I didn't even realize that I could make the C Deus switch axe in this game. Just goes to show what you completely forget when you stop paying attention. This will be a capture quest. I can live with that. I'm not pleased by it, but I'll live with it. Magma Nova, I'm assuming that this is the Hellblade Sword and Shield. What does it look like? Oh, that does look cool. I think inevitably, given that the deviant monsters are really cool for the most part, like if you look at it through a lens of what previously were subspecies, if you then look at deviant monsters, they're extremely cool. Very, very well designed. I think the same is the case for the weapons. Good shit. Very good stuff. God, look at that. Kushala Daura. Heavy bowgun. It hasn't changed, has it, since second gen? It's just a big hunk of fucking steel. It's nice that it looks like a big pistol, right? Like a big revolver. Almost. But my god, it looks so second gen compared to something like the Hellblade Sword and Shield. This is a really... what's the word? Generous box. It's a generous box. It is absolutely filled to the brim with things. Things that we would like to use. Alright, so I'm going to jump down here, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to keep the team waiting, so I'm going to hang around in here while I take leave of my built-up fluids. I've returned. Fear not, team, I am not a leecher. I just have human needs. Human urges. Alright, we must remember that this is a capture quest. I say that not just as some sort of rhetorical comment to the team. I'm saying it to remind myself of it too, because I'm usually the guy who forgets. I find capture quests to be absolutely detestable. I think they're stupid and a waste of time. That was very good. Thank you for that. I'm assuming that was the Lance Wonderboy over there. Oh, he's one of those people. Very good. That might sound very dismissive of me to say he's one of those people, but I watched him hit me with a Lance charge attack, and then, with little pause, move on to go and continue charging his lance in another direction. Just sheathe it, man. Just sheathe your damn lance, don't be afraid. It doesn't take that long. I feel that, for good or for ill, I group people like him in with all of my previous experiences of people who charge with a lance, and these are people who are completely undeterred from charging with their lance when they see that the entire team is just ending up all over the place, like just rolling all over the ground, because you are going there with your lance, charging through. It's just not necessary. Sometimes, okay, so either it was a one feint, or these guys managed to triple cart in record time. Must have been a one feint. What the fuck? Very good. I'm interested. Is it really? Is it a one feint? I can't even check. I can't even check, but it probably is, isn't it? It must be. If you're tempted to comment on the fact that I haven't even done my own bloodbath quests, the deviant quest system can eat my ass. I'm sorry. Alright. Seems that Dio is going to be able to post. I can't remember what he was asking to do. Because he wanted to do something, and then he was told he had to wait, effectively. We'll find out. He's eagerly posting his quest. There's been a lot of failure, hasn't there? That is the third quest that I've failed in this livestream. And I couldn't say exactly how many quests I do per livestream. Let's say between 9 and 13 quests per livestream. It's not great. It's not great to be failing 3. Bloodbath G3. Okay. Let's try that again. I'm happy to roll again so that I don't have to use a goddamn switch axe. I can really live without this weapon. Let's use a... Well, what kind of insect glaive would I like to use? Probably status, but... I don't think I have a poison option, do I? Wow. If you're wondering why I have 2 ice options, it's because this is the Filth Abolisher, okay? The Filth Abolisher. Need I say more? Oops. It's one of my joke weapons. Yeah, I'll bring this. It looks so fucking ugly compared to the insect glaive from 4 Ultimate. This looks like a rusted club. Whereas the insect glaive from 4 Ultimate looks like it could split the heavens in 2. So I don't know what went wrong there, but something certainly went wrong. This just looks like fucking arse. Looks like bunkum. Looks like a deformity. Alright. I think we are all good to go. Manual is using that weapon design. I commented on it before in a previous livestream. It's the same as the Dragon's Roar from 3 Ultimate, but this one looks... it's got that gold colour to it. Actually looks better, in my opinion, as a gold-coloured switch axe. I really need to figure out... well, I'll check. I will see what the weapon is, and figure out how to make it, because I'd like to make it in this game too. Dragon's Roar definitely had a big effect when you would equip it, because it's really big. Not that many people had it in the past. Not many people have it now. And it was just nice to have. It was good fun. It was an Ice Awakened switch axe, I think. If it was even Awakened. I think it was Awakened, but I could be wrong. It had a sort of cyan colour to it. Manual straight into the axe trot. He's a proper tri-player. And I mean that endearingly, but in a sort of backhanded way. Damning him with faint praise. Alright, how do I get my damn colours? I've got 2 out of 3. There we go. Because you could see there that I had actually selected a part of the monster to aim for. I got around that by standing under him and getting an almost vertical angle on the Kinsect. I was going for the body. Worked out reasonably well. I don't know if it's worth aiming for the horns, but I will be doing that. Just in case people want the actual materials from the monster. More than happy to be doing this version rather than the last one though, because this does not require any capturing. It always feels slightly unusual, like I'm out of place, mounting with an insect glaive in this game. It's such a 4 Ultimate staple that it's weird. You feel out of place and out of time. when you do it in this game. I've done so little bloodbath on camera now that I think about it. Oh, I managed to get caught in that. Not good. Just getting my colours and now I'm going to heal up. That was bad news. I'm glad I didn't get hit by the follow-up there. I was worried that I would, but it didn't cover as much ground as I expected. That was a great flash bomb. Excellently done. May have been a fluke, but it was beautiful. Alright, I had best sharpen up. Oh, how satisfying is that? What a cool horn break. I really need Extract Hunter. I'm not used to my colours running out this quickly. I think even by 4 Ultimate standards, that's very quick to be running out of your colours. I could be wrong, but that seemed a bit too quick. Bit too quick. Bloodbath. Grimhorn. Grimhorn. It's fucking grim, alright. Alright. So rather than work up to get my, or rather, try to get my colours manually, work up towards getting my colours, oh Jesus. I'm just going to get Extract Hunter. Like so. But we should be very concerned about the situation we're in. Dio's dead as well. I mean, you have no business dying. Manuel, possibly. He had to contend with 2 active Diablos at one time. You just sort of stood there and twiddled your thumbs and died. So, I'm not sure what excuse you've got. Alright. That was a good, very effective dung bomb, by the way. Oh! And a fucking, whatchamacallit, flash bomb to keep him in place. Very nicely done. I'm liking that. And he's dead. Goodbye. I will carve. I've made a number of bloodbath weapons, by the way. Oh. Get out of here. Yes, I did reveal that I haven't done my own bloodbath, but I've made the lance, I've made the bow, and possibly other things as well, but definitely fully upgraded the... Was it the lance? It was definitely the bow. I thought that I got the lance. Maybe I didn't get the lance. Anyway, I got, I think, 2 weapons. I don't think it was the lance. I'm going insane. You get over here, mister. I have to make use of my Extract Hunter colours. Yeah, and we're doing sonic bombing as well. Okay. It's at moments like these when I realise just how lazy I am when I play this game. I never bring flash bombs and sonic bombs, and, you know, I do feel somewhat embarrassed sometimes at my own lack of willingness to bring these things to hunts, but, you know. I suppose it's a bit late for me to be embarrassed now, isn't it? I used to. back in Try. And that was a while ago now. For those who don't know. I'm almost... I'm hesitant to even tell you how long ago that was, but it was a while ago. And, yeah, I should be used to that by now. I think it's about time that I realised that I have long since demonstrated myself to be almost cripplingly casual in that regard, but I do feel it. I feel like I should maybe step it up a little bit and be a little bit less shit. Anyway, the time will come. It is definitely worth getting a mount off on this Diablos. Don't think I've done that yet. And down he goes. May as well aim for the horns. I don't think I'll be breaking them, but that's alright. Got my Extract Hunter again. Good night. That was a bit of a beatdown, wasn't it? I feel like I made reasonable use of the Insect Glaive there, insofar as it felt like it was the way the Insect Glaive was meant to be played. I got my mounts. Got my colours fairly efficiently. I think I demonstrated the usefulness of having an Insect Glaive on the team. That's what I would say. What's Manual using? That armor set looks quite close to Shargot and Magala, but it almost looks like a... Well, I suppose it's the G rank armor set, isn't it? Could be. But yeah, I need to get that switch axe. Definitely need to get it. Manuel's got a very seedy moustache. That's quite in fashion these days. Seeing a lot of people getting around in seedy moustaches, like especially like, you know, men between the ages of 18 and 25. Maybe 18 and 23. 18 and 23. Seedy moustaches. The pedo-stache has made a comeback, everyone. And don't forget the mullet. The mullet has made a comeback too. Alright. Let's snoop on his switch axe. It is Shapeshifter. Shapeshifter. Let's see where that's come from. It's obviously an event weapon. It's a Famitsu weapon. So if you remember the gun lance, not literally the gun lance, but from Try, the thing that looked like a gun lance but wasn't, that was a Brain Fox weapon. This seems to actually be based on the same thing. So the Brain Fox gun lance was... it had a sort of light blue colour to it, and then in Try internationally, it was more of a dark colour. So this is also related to that. It's called Switch Fox. the quest that it's acquired from. Is a hub quest. What? Hub 1 star. P4? My response to that is disconnect. Alright. Hub 1 star. DLC. Famitsu. Is this even available to me? I just want to find out. Hold on. I don't even know how I access the offline anymore. I'm going to Kokoto though. I'm going to Kokoto. That's my home. Not really. My home is Loklak. If you want to know where my hunter lives, he lives in Loklak. Oh my god, this feels so weird. I'm sorry, but when you actually play the PS2 games and Freedom 1, this feels so odd. This feels unbelievably weird. It is almost like having a remastered version of those games, which will never happen. If it does happen, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Should have happened a long time ago. Hasn't. But when I'm back here, in this game, it does feel almost as if I'm in an alternate reality, where, in fact, they have made remasters of those games, and it's really nice. It looks cool. It looks loved. It looks like they're happy to express the world as it was here in this game. Alright, so it's also not exactly the same. They've expanded it slightly. Like, this wasn't out here, this was more like here. You would stand probably here relative to the space in order to interact with those guys, but now they're a bit more out here. They've opened it up a little bit. Anyway, so hub quests. Speak to this guy. Hub 1 star. No, hub is... excuse me. Hub is here, I think. It would say village if it were. Hub 1 star. Am I going insane? 1 star DLC. Maybe it is Japanese only. Hub 1 star DLC. Yeah. It's definitely not available to me now, so... Unless I need to go to here, which is possible. Haven't been here in a while. Yeah, seeing this is a bit of a flashback to playing Generations, to be honest. The music especially. Feels like it's 2015 again. Yeah, nothing. Where's the fucking quest? Hub 1 star DLC. Famitsu. If it's Japanese only, Kiraniko has elected to tell me fucking nothing along those lines. Alright. Generations Ultimate. Famitsu. Let's see if I get any information. I bet it's from Double Cross. Well, not even Double Cross, just Cross. By the looks of it. Alright, let's just assume that that's what it is, because I can't see it. It says it's Hub 1 star, but... no, not available to me. And I'm quite positive that there's nothing for me to download that I haven't already downloaded. Pretty positive. Anyway. We're 2 hours and 18 minutes in, so that's going to conclude this live stream. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you next time I'm recording. Turned out no one wanted to discuss Wilds in the end. Works for me. I'll see you all next time I'm recording, and I bid you farewell for now. Bye-bye.